1669. The federal government is going to start cracking down on California's medical marijuana dispensaries. Executive Chancellor of Oaksterdam University, Dale Sky Jones, joins us now. All right, Dale, thanks very much for joining us. I'm going to characterize your university as essentially the marijuana university. You teach all aspects of the marijuana business. I think I've got that right, correct?
Indeed. We provide quality training for the cannabis industry. Okay,
now, the feds are going after the medical marijuana dispensaries. We hear that they want to shut them down, and because some of them are dealing marijuana in millions and millions of dollars, and that's really not what medical marijuana dispensaries were set up for. So the feds are trying to go by the letter of the law, and I take it you oppose that.
Well, what we oppose is the Obama administration going back on their word. What we've been trying to do is take the profits away from violent drug cartels and put safe access in the hands of these regulated businesses. Now, last I checked, America didn't have a problem with a business being successful. But in fact, these are nonprofit businesses for the most part. So we're not talking about millions of dollars going into the pockets of personal people. We're talking about successful businesses that have gotten large enough to provide safe access for thousands and thousands of qualified patients who desperately need their medicine.
Well, look, doesn't the law say that they have to be non-profit dispensaries? I think, does the law say that? I think
yes.
It does. But the feds say,
the interpretation of the law does.
Yeah, but the feds say, wait a minute, you're dealing really big-time amounts of marijuana and you're making millions of dollars in profit. Some of the dispensaries, at least. And that is against the letter of the law.
Well, no, what it is if they're profiteering, that would be construed as against the law. Or if they're dealing, say, across state lines or with hard drugs that are also illegal. Look, we want them to go after the bad players. We want the Fed to focus the resources on those people that are actually harming our society. But what they're doing, for the most part, are going after very small businesses. They like to pretend it's these giant facilities. Well, there might be one or two of those out there. But for the most part, we're talking about small businesses that have been taxpayers for years, in many cases over a decade. These folks have been members of their community providing safe access. Now, the federal government would have you believe that this is not an attack on patients. Make no mistake, these sick patients cannot necessarily grow their own medication. Where are they supposed to find it? The back alley, the black market?
Real fast, Dale, why do you think the administration's doing this? I would have thought that the Obama team would have been, you know, they're on the left. I would have thought they would have been more in favor of legalization and certainly medical dispensaries. Why are they going after it?
You know, we're not sure. This is another case of the giant federal government trying to control the rights of states, as they promised they would allow us to do when it comes to medical cannabis law. And in many cases, the locals did not ask the Fed to come in. In fact, the locals are depending on our tax dollars for our schools and to keep our police officers on the street. When you look at the current news, you see news about Eric Holder trading guns for marijuana with violent Mexican drug cartels. I'm not sure why we're continuing this war on patients. We should look into it.
I just got one real fast one for you. In the Netherlands, they're thinking now of outlawing the very, very high-grade, super potent marijuana and putting that into the same category as cocaine. In other words, they're moving backwards on the sort of the semi-legalization of marijuana in the Netherlands. What do you make of that? Real fast.
Well, it's unfortunate because the science shows that actually the stronger the cannabis, the better for patients, because they need to smoke less of it to get the same effect. Okay. So we have an issue where politics is not paying attention to science. Once again, bad policy.
All right, Dale Sky Jones, it's an interesting subject. Come back and tell us how this all plays out, please. Thanks very much, Dale. Thank you.
Thank you. Call the White House. Tell them how you feel.
I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but some of our viewers might. Okay, Dale.